Hi everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It is the weekend. It's April 1st. We've got already one quarter of 2023 behind us and three more quarters to go. It's been a pretty raucous quarter so far, so let's take a look at what happened last week. It was a pretty positive week in the market for all of the markets, and it's looking pretty good going forward. So let's get down to it. So starting out with a quick review of what happened last week, you can see here we did seem to see some dissipation in the concerns regarding the financial system. No other sort of issues popped up there. But apparently there are sort of tighter lending conditions that are now existing in the marketplace, which actually will help the Fed fight inflation and maybe reduce the chance of further rate increases, which I think the market was hoping for this week. Friday, the PCE price index number, which is a much watched Fed inflation gauge, it came in slightly lower than expectations, which was another positive for the bulls. So you can see how we finished the week, 3.2, 3.4, 3.8% up on all of those indexes. So it was a pretty darn good week. And we're looking for areas of strength and weakness. Energy and consumer discretionary was where the money was flowing into mostly, although every sector was positive on the week. Communication services, where it's at the bottom of the list, it gained the least, but that was after a big run by Meta and just sort of consolidating right at the level it's at now, which is a big component of that sector. Treasuries, the 2-year was up, and the 10-year was just up slightly, so not much movement in the 10-year, but the 2-year was up a lot week over week. The US dollar down a little on the week, about 0.5%, so dollar seems to have topped out after that bounce and maybe heading lower, which would be good for sort of commodities sector stuff. And Bitcoin came bouncing back up this week. I was trading around 28,600 last time I checked. So pretty good week in the market overall, risk on as we go into the second quarter here. Okay, so before we get looking at some charts here, I always like to throw in a quick ad for my book on Amazon, Profiting as an Active Trader. There you can see it, rules, strategies, and the routines of an active stock and option trader. Some ideas for making trades for you there. So if you want to check it out, it's there. So let's get in town and look at some charts here. As always, we start out with the treasuries because they tend to wag the proverbial tail of the market. So let's you can see here the 2-year, we inched up a little bit, just holding this moving average, but 2-year up a little bit on the week, but significantly down from prior weeks, prior couple of weeks there based on those financial concerns. And as long as the interest rates are staying below that level, 4%-ish area on the 2-year, and the 10-year again well off the high. So again, sort of the bond market telling you maybe there's chances of a possible recession coming, and the interest rates, the longer term interest rates are dropping, which would indicate that the Fed is going to be lowering rates. Maybe not in the near term, but in the longer term is what the bond market's telling you. So transports, a monster week here. You can see that huge gain on Friday on the week, well up on the week after we bounced right off this prior support here. Nice bounce back up. We are, in essence, we are trading a little bit range bound here. You can see here's your upper end of your range. Here's your lower end of your range now that seems to have been set, and we may be chopping here. And of course, a lot of it's going to depend on earnings season, which is coming up in the next week or so. More than a week, but we will start to get some indications, some guidance from a lot of the companies, starting out with the banks as to how they see the economy going forward, and and so that could have it will definitely have some impact on how we look going forward here. But certainly the momentum is to the upside right now, as you can see with the Dow on Friday. Really nice trend day on Friday. Took advantage of that. Just stayed in a one trade, a TQQ. I stayed in one trade pretty much all day, and even have some holding some over here. So nice move up on the Dow on the week again. bouncing right back up into this trading range here. The Qs really just breaking out of this level here Thursday, and then a really nice follow through on Friday after that positive lower PCE number came out, and you can see here we're breaking out on the weekly time frame as well. Sort of next level of resistance is going to be up there around 330 on the Qs. The SPY, sort of same story, broke out on Friday, really nice move up. We're coming up into an area where there's 415. There's going to be some resistance there probably, but again, still looking very bullish. Market's looking very bullish. SPY on the week, we're right at a weekly resistance level there now. And IWM's really has not done very well over the course of a year or so compared to the rest of the markets. You can see here this was the one that got beat up the most during the financial challenges we just got through here. It has a lot of regional banks in it, which is why it was down so much. And it just seems to be coming back out here. Nice move up on Friday. Again, some of the financial concerns sort of waning a little bit as we're not getting any more negative headlines here. So you can see here we put in another bottom. This is the bottom back in December. There's your double bottom back in October and summer. And again, we're just sort of trading in a range here. And I think there's still some nervousness in the market about the possible another shoe to drop here. Schwab certainly seems to be under pressure. But again, your VIX is telling you that there is really no fear in the market. And we just right at the bottom end of this range here. The only thing I will say is when we do get down here, we do tend to jump back up again. So we'll just be watching that. Dollar, again, on the day it was up a little bit, but on a week we were still down again after we had that sort of reversal here, topping action and then rolling over again. So dollar may be coming down to retest this 2750 level on the UUP. Bitcoin just really just chopping along here. Just 30,000 seems to be a pretty significant level of resistance. You can see it back here, you can see it back here. So 30,000, a big number. If we do get through that, it's going to rip higher. So keep an eye on a break of 30,000 there. So a few things I'm watching for the week. Apple, again, Apple just continues to be strong. Anything sort of tech with good balance sheet, good cash flow, I mean, that just defines Apple. That's where money seems to be going right now, and you can see we've had a really nice uptrend. I was talking about this 155 level, possibility to sell some calls here. I didn't end up doing that, unfortunately, but would have been a great place to sell puts. Sorry about that, sell puts, not calls, and just take in the premium and then watch them expire worthless. So again, now it looks like sort of this 155 area still could be a good area to sell puts. I'll look at that next week to see if I get a decent premium for selling those for the risk to be taking. 170 looks like an area on Apple right now where it could be going to next week. Amazon's breaking out here. You can see here Thursday, Friday, we broke out. Friday had a nice follow through day. 107 is an area here, 200-day moving average, could be resistance, maybe even this place where we gapped up from and then gapped down to 105. But Amazon, again, looking like it might go higher. Again, an opportunity possibly to sell downside puts for the week. Baba, I was watching Baba. Baba came out, made some announcement about Pop breaking their company up. I mean, now they're just trying to figure out a way to pump the stock up and sort of work this week. Pulled back a little bit on Friday on the news that Chinese Communist Party was investigating Micron again, sort of back at the tech companies again. So I'm not really sure that's again, I'm not really sure it's a good opportunity there, but certainly looks like it might go higher. FHN, I highlighted this last week. I do have a little position in it now at around 17. It did jump up on Monday, and again, sort of relief from some of the regional financial concerns. This is a takeout candidate for TD. They are still looking at taking it out. It's definitely got a discount in it right now. Question as to whether that $25 takeout price, $24 takeout price is going to hold, but yeah, there are some regulatory concerns as well there. But I'm just going to hold on to a little bit there. Gold seems a little toppy here. Gold prices dropped on Friday, and you can see here we came pulling back here. So I'm thinking gold is kind of toppy here. I did sell my position there. And Nvidia is another one, just like Apple, just continues to be strong. Lots of good potential, and people just every pullback gets bought. I notice even during the day, pullbacks are usually bought, and we ended up breaking out here to another high on Nvidia. And I did have some 280 calls that I sold, and they expired worthless. Came pretty close to my price, though. That was a little bit dicey, but worked out okay. Silver's had a really nice run, much better, almost even better than gold over the last little while here. It looks like it's coming into an area where there should be some significant resistance, so I wouldn't chase it here. If you have some, I'd consider pairing my position. Square was my trade of the week. I bought some Square. I might have even bought it on Friday and last week, a week ago, and sold some 60 puts, sold some 68 calls, and then had the shares that were covered by the calls, and ended up covering the calls. Unfortunately, I lost a little money on them because they traded above 68, but I did have the shares, so I did benefit from the share price run up as well. So it just capped my profits on that. The 60 puts expired worthless, took that in. But this is a great, I love these opportunities when short sellers come in and write a report and the stock drops hard. And quite often, as I've mentioned in the room here, these short selling reports, they have an immediate reaction, especially if they're well-known short firms that come out with these reports. But I find 9 times out of 10 these short reports never stick. And you can see here we came up 70 was kind of the high, and I'm out of the position, and really nice, great trade on a Square for the week. Tesla was a monster day on Friday, broke out. Went out near the high of the day, coming up into an area. 210, 211 is going to be resistance here, but I kind of thought 200 was going to be resistance. I actually had a few 200 calls left. I'd sold some when they were back in this area, and got about 50%, or I bought them back, got about 50% a return. And then when this thing started to take off on Friday, I got out of the rest of them before it went through 200, and still made a profit on those. But I'm glad I got out of them, because I would have really been underwater on that call sale. Looking at UNG again, natural gas. It's just getting so beat up. And again, we've tested another low here. We did have a bit of a bounce, and now we're back retesting a low. And I'm just watching here to see if we get another possibility for another bounce here on UNG. And that's about it, everybody. Wrapping things up and looking ahead for the week there, you've got your indexes where we're currently sitting right now with support and resistance levels. Still looking fairly bullish, I would say, as we go into next week. We do have earnings, as I've mentioned already. Earnings season is going to kick off not this coming week, but the following week, so that'll be interesting. Economic events coming this week. We've got some PMI and ISM numbers, manufacturing on Monday. Wednesday, we've got ISM services stuff. We've got Thursday, usual jobless claims. Friday is a holiday, but there still will be some unemployment reports coming out. And then we've got some Fed speakers scattered throughout the week as well. And for earnings that are coming up this season, really light week this week. And as I mentioned, going into next week, which will kick things off. So that's it, everybody. Hope you're having a good weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the Bearable Trading Room, 8 o'clock, kicking the start of the week off, engineering the markets, and then 8:30 pre-market show, 9:30 trading the markets with our moderators and members. So hopefully we'll see you at one or all of those events. Take care and have a good rest of the weekend. Bye for now.